Reverend Wright. And
Yes.
Reverend Wright even weighed in on the Yes We Can slogan very
Yes.
positively,
Yes.
and you write about that, page 210, I just happen to remember. But Bill Ayers helped him
Yes.
with his book,
Right.
and you actually you found the literary devices and themes bear a jarring similarity to Ayers' own writings.
That's true, and they were good friends. I mean, during the campaign, of course,
They
he
were
tried
good
to.
friends.
Yeah, yes, of course, they
So
were.
he denied
There was
it.
a kind of yes, he did, and there was a little of a literary cabal there that was interesting in Chicago. They were all giving each other quotes for their, blurbs to promote their respective books.
So Sean Hannity was right when I said that they were close friends. He started
Yes.
his political career in his house.
Yes.
He, sat on boards with him, gave speeches with him. They
Yes.
were good friends.
They were.
So
They
he
were
lied.
friends.
So he lied to the American people.
I think, well, let's face it, during that campaign, I think he was doing some backpedaling, I'll be honest, and I think that, Michelle probably recommended that he not emphasize their relationship with Ayers.
And Bill Ayers was more than happy because he wanted him to be president.
Right.
And so Bill Ayers went underground, no
Right.
pun intended.
Right. But, the one thing that I think is fascinating about Michelle is that she is so pivotal, not only in all of these decisions you're talking about, but she really made him what he was. I mean, don't forget, he wasn't connected to anybody in Chicago. She's the person who connected him through the law firm she worked with, through her job at City Hall when she worked for Mayor Daley. And she's the person who taught him how to speak to African-American audiences, because he was considered to be rather stiff.
But even as it goes to Reverend Wright was involved in a lot of decisions, and the person that was closer to Reverend Wright, you say, that was, quote, in awe of him, to use your phrase, was Michelle.
Exactly, and you have to realize what he helped them with. I mean, he did help them get through some of the personal crises. Her dad died of MS at the age of 55. Barack's mom died, of course, as we know, and all of these kind of emotional things drew her closer to Jeremiah Wright. I think she was a little bit more reluctant than he was to kind of say, look, these statements that Wright's making do not reflect
Let me ask you a last question, because I find these things, some would say it's politically expedient.
Yeah.
You describe a couple that is very ambitious.
Yes.
But they seem to be willing to skirt the truth quite often in pursuit of that ambition. Now, hang on, I'm just using what you're saying.
Well, yeah. I would say
you are describing dishonesty.
I would say politics in America. Look, I think we should just be damn grateful that we don't have the Clintons in that White House from the standpoint of a marriage, because a marriage, the state of a marriage is an important thing in this country, and I think you want to have a solid.
All right, but you're kind of ducking. You describe blatant dishonesty. Why? But why are you so unwilling? You kind of say it, but you don't say it.
I give the facts and let people make up their mind about what is expedient, what is allowed in the campaign, whether or not people bend the truth to serve their purposes. Hey, let's face it, both parties do this thing.
Not all. There are honest people in the world. I don't believe in these broad, sweeping generalizations.
Well, there are, but I think one would not get elected president if they were painfully honest and perfectly honest about these things.
Was he honest about Ayers and Wright?
Not totally.
Okay.
And I think
fair and I won't push any further.
Okay.
It's a fair assessment. I got to be honest. I enjoyed the book.
Thank you.